Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR with the latest on the tropics. You can see out there right now we have Hurricane Helene, much weaker, down to a Category 1. And we also have Invest 96L coming back from the dead, a little area in the Caribbean and a couple of areas in the East Pac. But those shouldn't really do anything. If they do, they probably won't become significant systems. Notice this huge trough coming off and pushing Helene out to sea. There were talks that, oh, this trough is going to end the season, it's going to sweep down, and everything's going to kind of get squashed for a while. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case, I don't think. I think things in the southern Atlantic are going to remain rather favorable for future development. Here's the latest on Hurricane Helene down to 80 miles an hour as noted before, 972 millibars, moving north at 13. Expected to turn off to the northeast and it should be out of here. Classic Cape Verde hurricane. Take a look at it. You can see it's much weaker today. Degraded satellite appearance. Here's 96L, and the models are pretty good with taking this thing out to sea well to the east of Bermuda and the Antilles. The models that were hinting at an impact on the Antilles are actually hinting at a wave behind 96L, and you can see that right there. A big cluster of storms getting ready to move off Africa. And then even behind the main invest here, you can see a little doodad here. This is maybe what the models are hinting at. You can see the 120-hour MM5 shows a very intense system off the Mexican coast. That could be one of our systems we're watching. Again, keep an eye on the East Pac. And also showing a system out here in the Atlantic. That would be Isaac. But it does bring a little interesting feature into the Caribbean Sea. And I think that may be our little wave. You can see the 144-hour no gaps has a weaker system up here with a stronger system coming much further to the south. Uh, the GFS, the 0Z from this morning, has a 384 hours well far out, does have a system impacting Florida as a significant hurricane. And if you track the systems and give them names as they develop, this would actually be Joyce. So we actually have one from Invest 96L go up, and then this second one rides right on through like that over the course of 384 hours while we get a couple more systems off Africa too. If this does become a feature, it could be pretty serious. Now, Mike Watkins, bless his soul, he'll be on tonight at 9 p.m. on Talking Tropics. But he said it 2 weeks ago. He told me, and we were having a conversation. He said, you know what? Once Florence is gone, we could start to see a pattern shift. Well, we saw Gordon and Helene and potentially now Isaac add into that storms out to sea kind of category, but the pattern shift may be occurring now. He noted 1999 when Floyd and Gert came through. We had Dennis, we had Emily that year, we had Gert, all those storms, and then what happened? Everything kind of quieted down, and we saw a pattern shift. And then we saw Irene, Jose, Katrina, Lenny. So, with the way the steering flow is starting to become more towards the Caribbean and Florida and the Gulf, we could start to see a pattern shift now once Helene gets out of here, once 96L gets out of here, to where anything comes off to the south. We'll start to move more towards the United States. We may have to keep an eye on that. And if our wave does develop behind it, we could see it. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the latest satellite imagery, the water vapor, there's that trough moving through. You can see here comes wet weather ruining my weekend here in the United States. A lot of dry air still throughout the Atlantic basin, but notice how, again, this trough's sweeping through. Helene's moving out. This system's getting squashed, moving out. Again, I think its chances for development are pretty low compared to what we thought yesterday. But then what's going to happen? We're going to get this rebuilding ridge of high pressure in here, and so anything that comes off to the south may be pushed back westward, be it through the Caribbean Sea or through the Bahamas. So got to keep a close eye on that. Okay, back to the West Pac, we have Super Typhoon Yagi up to 160 miles an hour, Category 5. Forecast to just miss mainland Japan and heading off to the northeast. And you can see a very powerful Category 5 cyclone in the western Pacific. And believe it or not, in the Indian Ocean, we do have a tropical storm. 50 mile an hour winds with this 4A. Not sure what the name is, have to check that out. It's moving northeast at 1. You can see very little motion is expected over the next few days. And taking a look at the latest satellite appearance of it, showing some signs of outflow, but again, it's pretty weak. Not quite that season. Notice this area of low pressure just near India here, and I'm sorry, I think this is Saudi Arabia, Iran, I think maybe. Hey, no. and India here. I'm not too good with my Indian Ocean cyclones, but if this were over water, it would be much more foreboding than this system is. So we'll keep an eye on it either way. I'm Mike Naso. That's latest on the tropics. I'll see you.